Sunday morning, walked the kids to Speeltown, which is the Dutch way of saying playground. And we had a moment that I really wanted to remember, which is that at one point when we were walking here, Raina grabbed my hand and Sophie's hand and had to swing her, as you do kids higher and higher. And it's a scene that I've seen in movies, I've seen my friends doing, but it's something that always seemed so far away from me. And so suddenly I found myself doing a thing that I never thought I would be doing.
Here I am with the love of my life. For almost a decade, she was the one that got away, but I won her back. I did need to move to Europe, because that's where she's from. In fact, this is me back in July, in the middle of a pandemic, flying from JFK in New York to the Netherlands. Now I have her, a cat, a bike, and maybe most impactful, her 2 kids. I'm a stepdad in a foreign land. This is my life.
Hey everybody, I am going to start something new this week. This video is going to be the first of what I hope to be many weekly wraps. I'm feeling like so much happens during the week and I have all these plans of videos that I want to make. But by the end of the week, I feel like I'm so full of experiences and little stories here and there that I just want to do a video that gives me some space to just share all of this with you guys and maybe try and make some sense of it as we go along. Thank you to particularly all of our new subscribers, those of you who may have come in through TikTok or through some other ways. Also, thank you to those of you who have been here from the start. So a year ago, when I was sitting in Brooklyn recuperating from the virus and coughing my head off, I discovered TikTok. My roommate Tony and I started to share videos. We were watching people do these really silly things, say these absolutely hilarious things. I was sitting on the sidelines and I didn't mind it. Every once in a while, I would get this little itch, this little feeling like, I see this guy doing that and I bet I could do that too. Or, I just love the creativity that's exploding off the screen. But for whatever reasons, I mostly just watched and laughed and then turned it off. Until this week, I decided to create a video that in 60 seconds told the absolute bare bones version of the story of Sophie and me, how we met, how we lost touch, and then how we got back in touch. Of course, the perfectionism kicked in and I thought, it isn't exactly right. And then eventually I put some music to it and I thought, you know what, I want to do this. I have to draw the line here. And so finally, I got the video to a point where I was comfortable with it and I pressed publish and I looked again and I said, oh, wow, there's 100 people have liked this video. I woke up the next day and I looked at it and all of a sudden there were over 700 followers on this account with like a ton of likes. Then suddenly people were commenting and the numbers on the account were just rising faster than I could keep track of it. And comments were coming in of people who were saying, oh my gosh, what an incredible love story and how inspired they were. And then more likes came in and suddenly it was 1,000 likes and then 2,000 likes. I've now got over 1,000 subscribers and over 20,000 likes. Now I'm hooked. I feel like this is an exciting thing, except for what happened along the way with the comments, which is that the incredibly uplifting things that people were saying literally from all over the world as people were watching these videos. There were also, for lack of a better term, trolls that came out and said some awful things without knowing the entire story. As soon as I started to see that stuff, I I was so close to deleting the video and then, maybe even going a step further and absolutely deleting the account. I talked to Sophie and I talked to a friend of mine in London, and they dissuaded me from doing that. Obviously, they saw the video, they really liked it, and I'm glad that I didn't, because as I stayed with it, I got these beautiful, beautiful comments from people who also went through it or had lost love or were still searching for love, and they're still coming in, even like at this moment as I'm speaking right now. These comments and likes and follows are still coming in. Being part of a community, being clear about what I want to do, what my goals are, why I'm there, that's kept me on. This week was the 1 year later of getting the virus, and I posted a quick TikTok video about this the other day, and I knew that I could talk about it more here. I remember that I was flying back. This is a part of the story I haven't even told yet in the official videos of the relationship between Sophie and me. But I left here. I had come to see Sophie and the kids back in February of 2020, and I flew out of here on March the 8th, which was a Sunday. And somewhere between the bus to the train station, to the train, to the airport, onto the plane, then into JFK in New York, and into the cab from the airport to my apartment in Brooklyn, I picked up the virus. And 2 days later, I started coughing, and I felt weak and fatigued, and I isolated in my room as much as I possibly could. And I remember that I was supposed to go into the city later that week for a dentist appointment, and I was on the phone with my doctor, and the physician's assistant said, under no circumstances should you get on the subway right now. Stay home, stay in your room, and as long as you're not having any trouble breathing, self-quarantine. And the worst part for me was that right here, when I took a deep breath, it just hurt. It was just really tight. And that was the scariest part for me, aside from not being able to stop coughing. And it's scary for me. I mean, it's scary because I don't know. I mean, I haven't gotten vaccinated yet. I was doing all of this before testing was widely available. This was, like I said, the beginning to the middle of March of 2020. So I just sat in my room and recuperated, and it's just really got to me this week. Thinking about the people who did lose family members and friends, and wishing so badly that we could be past this moment, and that I could see my family for the first time since Thanksgiving of 2019. And so many of my friends all over the country, certainly in New York and Florida, where I'm from, so I'm just sending out a lot of love, a lot of support to people who have been touched by this awful virus, and sincerely hope that we will be out of this pandemic very soon. Magnus, who is the older of the two children, came downstairs the other day for breakfast, and he had gotten dressed very quickly. This was before they were getting ready to go to school. And I helped him out with his breakfast, and he started eating. And we were both sort of going about our business. I was making the kids' lunches for them, and Magnus was eating, and all of a sudden I heard him say in Dutch, ik hou van jullie, which means I love you, Lee. And I was stunned by it, and I didn't know what, I didn't know how to respond other than to say, "What?" And then before he could even say something, I said, "Yeah, ik hou van jou, Magnus." And then I said, "Maar waarom zei je dat? Why did you say that?" And Magnus in Dutch said, "Because of the things you do for my sister and me." So that was a real moment of clarity for me, that it's hard to know, how children are processing things. And the minute when I think they may not be paying attention to something, or the minute that I think they're not aware of something, suddenly I realize actually they are. There's so much more to say about that, and I'm excited to elaborate on it. But I promised just to relate these two instances, and thankfully this second instance actually has some video that I can show attached to it, and that is that we recently took some time on a Sunday morning to take the kids to a park and a playground, and we actually ended up meeting some new friends there with their daughter who were spending some time in the playground as well, and I suddenly found myself with Raina on a hammock right there in the park, and we shared this lovely moment where first I was pushing her on the swing, and if I'm totally honest, thinking to myself, yeah, I don't think I would ever really lie down on a public hammock like this, but I can certainly, push Raina on it. And then the next thing I knew, I found myself lying there on the hammock, holding Raina, giving her a hug, and taking a moment just to swing. A lot more to say. Thanks to everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed my first of what I hope is many weekly wraps. Everybody have a great weekend. See you soon.